So this is something that we spend a lot of time on. We have a large portion of, not necessarily disproportionate, but a good portion of our management attention is on how do we build out the culture in the right way as we scale. So if you think about it, someone we hire today as just someone who's going to be an engineer or someone who's going to be doing sales will actually probably, if they're really good, be a manager, right, in 6 or 12 months from now. And that means that because of the rate at which we're growing our organization. So we have to hire people today that can actually be leaders later, and that's really critical. And so first is just the criteria in which of who you're hiring, right? The qualifications of that individual, our hiring process to make sure we're bringing in people that we want to work with, that we think are skilled enough to be able to be really innovative and be able to work really hard. And we push on people and set really big goals. So you can actually start to see what people can't meet those goals. What kind of people aren't fitting in this high performance, really kind of quick environment? Because that's the only way we're going to be competitive, right? We're in the business of getting a lot of people together, building a really good technology, and the only way we can do that is if we have the best people to do that. And so we have to make sure we're constantly hiring the best people. We have some sort of mechanisms that help us do that. And what was the second part of your question?
I mean, are you bringing in innovation?
Yes, great. Yeah, so innovation is critically important. I actually need to read some more books on this in terms of like what happens to companies when they stop innovating. Like why does that happen? That totally sucks, right? As a startup, everything you do matters so much, right? Your leverage is just the people that you're working on that project with. Nobody's there for the paycheck. You're there to really change as much as you possibly can. And so you want to maintain that when you have 100 people, when you have 500 people, when you have 1,000 people. And so we have a couple forcing functions that help with that. We have this thing that Facebook certainly popularized the hackathon. So once every 3 or 6 months, all of our engineers stay up all night, and they can work on any single project that they want to. It's totally up to them, and that gives us an opportunity to have things that are outside of the sort of day in, day out business that let us kind of figure out what new is out there that we want to work on. Google has the 20% time. We do this more in like a sort of a consolidated period where we're going to put out a lot of work. And so what comes from that is we were the first company to release HTML5 drag and drop file uploading and technology like that in this space. We have this thing that's launching tomorrow, which enables Box to be real time. And so it's going to be really powerful, and that's it's these kinds of things that just don't make their way on the regular product management, product roadmap. And so you have to be able to have forcing functions that say, how are we going to do this in a completely new way? And then I think finally, we just try and encourage it across the organization. Every problem that we're trying to solve, we're as collaborative as we can to solve it, and we look for the best sort of way that we can solve that problem. And we don't necessarily just look at what have other organizations done. We actually look at what should be possible and what should we do. So a lot of stuff go into it. There's not a sort of a single way that you do that, but it definitely takes a lot of discipline to make sure it continues throughout your organization as you hire people.